Hello, everybody, and welcome to World History for the semester of Fall 2023. My name is Miss Corey, and I will be your instructor. Some of you also have Miss Hinkle. She is also one of the instructors for World History. I'll be doing a lot of the videos and stuff, so you'll see my face a lot. So you're either going to have Mrs. Hinkle, full name Rebecca Hinkle. She teaches Section 3, and other courses that she teaches is online U.S. history, online psychology, and also Minnesota history at Sauk Middle School. So some of you might know her already. And then there's me, so I'm Corey Static, but you just call me Miss Corey. I teach sections 1 and 2. I also teach online advisory and history through film online. So, a little bit about Mrs. Hinkle. I know I'm not Mrs. Hinkle, and I think for her class, she made a little video introducing herself as well. Um, and she teaches both online classes of social studies as well as Sauk Middle School in Elk River. She was excited to learn together this year. And a few things about her includes that this is her third year at ISC 728, but it's her 11th year teaching overall. And she likes hanging out with her husband and 3 boys, playing volleyball, downhill skiing, which this is such a cool picture of her, traveling, reading, and enjoying nature. And then there's me. So this is my third year teaching overall, second year at ISD 728 online. My degree, I have a Bachelor of Arts in History with a focus on ancient history. My favorite thing to learn about in history is Egypt, especially ancient Egypt. That's what I did my thesis paper on. I also have a Master of Education in Secondary Social Studies, and I have a minor in Spanish Studies. So my hobbies include fishing, gardening, canning, kayaking, snow skiing, and admiring pets. So if you have pictures of pets, you may get some brownie points if you include pictures of your pets and things. Um, Also, like I said, favorite subject, ancient Egypt. My least favorite subject is probably the European Middle Ages, which unfortunately is kind of a big chunk of what we're doing. But it's still really interesting, especially learning about the Black Plague. This is my dog up here. Her name is Stella. You will probably hear her barking through some of my videos. All right, so units for this course. So this is just for the first semester. We'll do Unit 1, Early History in Mesopotamia, Unit 2, Ancient Egypt and Started Judaism, Unit 3, Ancient Greece and Persia, Unit 4, Ancient Rome, Unit 5, Ancient to Medieval China and Japan, Unit 6, Ancient to Medieval India, and then Unit 7 will be the Middle Ages. That might kind of get split in half and continue the second half of that into next semester, but we'll see how we go. All right, so just a little bit of course lingo um, of how I structure my labeling in the course. So besides the orientation week assignments, which you're going to do next up, assignments will be structured in U and then a number dash L and then a number. So what this stands for is unit is U and L is lesson. So for example, for Unit 1, Lesson 8, on the assignment posted in Schoology is going to say U1 L8. And that stands for Unit 1, Lesson 8. Or another example, U3 L2 would be Unit 3, Lesson 2. So that's how I name all of my assignments, is I use that system. That way they show up really nice and orderly in your grade book. If you have any questions about that, let me know. And seriously, if you have any questions about anything in this video, email me. I will be so happy to respond to you, okay? Even if you are one of Mrs. Hinkle's, you can certainly email her. You can email me too if you have questions. So grading, 70% of your grade is summative, so that includes tests, projects, essays. Most of that's going to be tests. 30% of your grade will be formative, which includes like daily work, ed puzzles. We're going to be using Edpuzzle a lot in this class, as well as study guides. Formative work is usually 5 points, except for the study guides are worth 10. And summative work varies. Usually they're between a 20 and a 35 point range, depending on the kind of summative. All right, so let's talk about due dates. So due dates for assignments that both Mrs. Hinkle and I are going to be typically due on Sunday at midnight. The reason why I like doing this is because I was one of those students who liked the weekend to work on things, to really dig in and get stuff done on the weekends. That's just how I was. And I feel like there's at least some of you that like that too. So that's why I do Sunday at midnight. Sometimes a due date might be different, but I will like highlight and make sure that you know that that due date may be, I don't know, like Wednesday at midnight or something like that. But that's pretty rare. So Sunday at midnight. So for example, here, this is your orientation folder. You can see due Sunday, September 10th, 2023 at midnight. All right. So study guides are always going to be the first assignment in each unit assigned to you. So for example, U1L1 is going to be the Unit 1 study guide. So study guides may take up 2 or 3 or 4 weeks depending on the unit. Now the study guides will not be due within that first week of the unit. They are going to be due when your summative is due. And I think a lot of people get kind of confused. They're like, I've had students before that like turn in their study guide in the first week, and it's like, wait a minute, we didn't even do second week stuff. I didn't even publish it yet. So when it comes to study guides, they are out throughout the whole unit, and I always make it really, really obvious of when they are due. And again, it's usually Sunday at midnight. So when it comes to attendance, this is the big change from last year. So listen really, really closely, especially if you have had online classes before this. Okay. So attendance is based upon assignment completion. You must complete all of the assignments in the current week in order for me to mark you as present. That's right. You heard me. Every single assignment needs to get done in that week for me to mark you as present for attendance. So, for example, I just kind of threw this one together, but let's say we're in Unit 4, okay? And you have U4L5, you have U4L6, U4L7, U4L8, U4L9. And I'm like, okay, all of these are going to be due on Sunday, November 14th at midnight, okay? You need to get all 5 of these assignments completed and turned in to me by Sunday at midnight, because when I do attendance on Monday, if you did all these assignments, I will mark you as present. But if you even missed one of them, you are marked absent. So that is the huge change from last year. I know there's a lot of, it makes me nervous too, don't worry. And something I will work with y'all with. But that's the biggest thing. You need to get all of those assignments. And I usually do one assignment a day. So in most cases, there's going to be 5 assignments in a week you need to get done in order to be marked as present. Okay, and let me know if you have any questions about that. So here's some scenarios. You're like, hey, Miss Corey or Mrs. Hinkle, what happened if I'm sick or on vacation? Like, let's say I was in school on Monday, but I was out Tuesday through Friday. Yeah, this is really tricky and it comes up sometimes. If you were even in school for one day, so let's say you were present on that Monday, for example, you need to still complete all the assignments before Sunday at midnight. So as long as you were in school one of the days, Tuesday through Friday, you don't get that excused as sick or vacation for online classes. You still need to complete all the work. What happened if I'm going on vacation Monday through Friday, or was out sick the whole entire week, Monday through Friday? Great question. Then we as teachers can give you some lenience on getting your assignments completed. So like if you're down with the flu and you just can't get your assignments done and you are out Monday through Friday in your normal high school, what you need to do is you need to email either me or Mrs. Hinkle and let them know that you will be sick or you are on vacation the whole week. Okay, the sooner you do that, the better. Then your teacher will verify with your home school, which is either Elk River, Rogers, or Zimmerman, to verify your excuse. And if you don't email us, we will never know you're on vacation or you were sick, because we never get notifications where it pops up on our attendance like this student was sick on whatever day. We never get that. So email us when you are sick or on vacation, okay? If you don't, you might get marked absent, and that's not fun. So, what happens if you are marked absent? I'll tell you this right now, not pleasant things will happen to you. So, when we do attendance, we do it on Monday mornings. So, we do attendance on Monday for the week prior. For holidays that are on Monday, it'll be done Tuesday, but whatever. So you will get an email from your teacher to you, your parents, your counselor, and your administrator if you are marked absent in this class. You will also be getting a call home as well. And 3 absences may result in truancy, aka getting kicked out of this class. So, in other words, do your homework, keep up on it so you are not marked absent. And I've had this excuse quite a few times, and it's kind of concerning. Some student will say, but I was so busy with real school that I forgot about this class. Newsflash, this is real school. We are part of ISD 728. This class is just as important as any of your in-person classes, and you need world history in order to graduate. So don't forget about this class. So when would you do your work? So you signed up for this online class, so that means you must be an independent worker. There are no teachers there to physically bug you of, do your work, put away your phone, do your work. No one's there to say that to you. You have to do that to yourself. All of you have at least one period blocked out for this class. So work on this class during that period and find your own time. My suggestions to you is to be very consistent about when you do this class work. So set aside time daily to do class work. Put away your phone. I had so many kids last semester that were failing because they were like, well, I go to the library and then I go on TikTok or text my friends or whatever. And that results in a lot of failing kids, which results in a lot of very angry parents and guardians. So don't be that person. Put away your phone and do this work. Time management. So rarely assignments will take 15 minutes. They're usually in the 30 to 50-minute range. And your class period is about 52 minutes. So I structure all of my assignments to be, kind of like the time it would take for you to sit through one period of school. So what happens if you need help? Just contact us. Seriously, Mrs. Hinkle and I, email us. That's the best for both of us. Also sign up for Google Meets. That's going to be on the top of each Schoology page. Is there going to be a booking link? Office hours. I have office hours. They're going to be Mondays from noon to 1. And I'll let you know if that changes or if I add any. And Mrs. Hinkle's students, you can come to my office hours, okay? I will make sure that she has that linked for you on the Schoology page. So feel free to come. Um, so I don't have an office phone number right now, so the best way to email me would be on this email right here. And for Mrs. Hinkle students, she's going to have office hours Wednesday from 2 to 3. And you can use this link. I'll post this slideshow in the orientation folder, so you can click on that as well. And also email her is the best way. All right. So late informative work will not be graded after the due date. Again, the due dates are usually on Sundays at midnight. So late work. Late summatives may be turned in, but you're going to get big points knocked off for late summatives. So the moral of the story is to keep up on your weekly work. So what happens if I need extra time? Maybe you're like, oh my gosh, like I had this giant basketball tournament over the weekend. I really need more time to do my work. The thing is, email us. Email either me or Mrs. Hinkle, whichever you have as a teacher. The sooner the better. We may grant it to you, but it better be a good excuse. It can't be like, well, I was going on a movie marathon and I just didn't get my work done. No, that's not a great excuse, okay? All right, so plagiarism and artificial intelligence. This is such a tricky topic, right? I'm sure y'all are overwhelmed with it too. So I will admit, AI in the future is going to have some really interesting uses. Some classrooms in your school maybe use them. I don't know of a teacher that ever said that, yeah, I'll use it, but maybe there's a teacher that does. But I do not use AI for any of my work. and this will not be permitted for this class. You cannot plagiarize or use AI at all. Any assignment that is plagiarized will be given a 0 for the whole assignment. So even if you had this giant assignment and you had one sentence plagiarized or AI, you'll get a 0 on the entire assignment. Okay? I'm not going to stand for that this year. So example, you're doing my study guide and you're copying and pasting something from Wikipedia or whatever, that will be a 0 on your assignment. So don't use it because your grade will drop significantly. All right. If you give answers to questions that are not in the video or the information on the assignment, so like these videos that I'm going to make, I'm going to talk about different periods in history. If you put in answers that are just really odd or information that I never even touched upon, I will suspect you of using AI or other plagiarism, and you will get a 0 and also an email from either me or Mrs. Hinkle. If you plagiarize or you AI, you will really lose my trust fast, and I will become a lot pickier on your assignments. So don't even go there, okay? And if plagiarism becomes a huge problem throughout, like many people, then I will use Turnitin for all assignments. Turnitin, I'm sure a lot of you have used that already, but it detects that. Please just don't use plagiarism or AI, because Turnitin is a pain in the butt to use for both you and me. So just be honest with your work. And if you have questions, ask us. We are here to help you. All right, so tools that are used in this class. Kami, once in a great while, we'll use it. You'll learn how to use it later. Actually, you won't use it till later this week because we're going to actually use something called, there's a new program in Schoology that we're going to use instead of Kami. I'll let you know if we ever use Kami, but for now, just forget about it. Edpuzzle, this is my main tool. Again, you're going to see my face a lot this semester. Okay? So Edpuzzle is going to be used weekly, if not multiple times a week. So instead of having you read from the textbook, which I have the textbook, and it's boring as heck, and I rather not you read it, I make lecture videos and then you take notes that way. So that is also what you're using right now if you don't know what Edpuzzle is. And then Turnitin. This is going to be used specifically for written summatives, and it checks for plagiarism and AI as well. Screencastify, you're going to learn more about this in the orientation lessons, but that's recording your computer screen. Google Slides, I think we'll use it once or twice for some research assignments. And of course, Schoology, okay? That's going to be our home base for all assignments, all announcements. All right, so when watching Edpuzzles, you are going to sign in with your ISD 728 account and make sure your ad blocker is turned off. Like, seriously, make sure it's turned off. It's this little like hand symbol up here in the corner of your Google Chrome tab for Edpuzzle. Turn it off, or else your Edpuzzles will not work correctly. Questions will pop up on the side of the Edpuzzle video at least once a video, if not twice. I think I've had them up to like 10 times. And that will pause your video, and you need to answer the Edpuzzles questions as you're watching the videos. Okay, that's part of your grade. If this does not occur, then you need to turn off your ad blocker or email me if that doesn't work. For you to get any points, you must watch the Edpuzzle to the very end. I had so many kids last year. They'd watch the video, but they'd only watch it to the last question, and then they didn't finish the rest of the video, and then they didn't get points, and then they were marked absent. So make sure you watch the Edpuzzle to the very last second. Typically, you get this symbol right here. It says like you're done, and then it has like a little confetti thing. And let me know if you have any questions with Edpuzzle. Like, you're like, I watched it, and it's not like popping up or something. Just email me, okay? Or Mrs. Hinkle, whichever teacher you have. All right, so Edpuzzle tips. If the video does not stop right now, like in 2 seconds, your Edpuzzle isn't working correctly. So you need to turn off your ad blocker. All right, so if the video just stopped for you and you had the question, who is your favorite actor/actress, then the Edpuzzle's working for you. Congratulations, that's awesome. All right, so when watching an Edpuzzle video, make sure you watch it all the way to the very, very end. If you don't, you won't get the points for the video, meaning no score, means you're going to get marked absent. Typically, there's also something at the end of the video. Sometimes it'll like say like, awesome job, you're done. Have like a little, I don't know, person thing. All right, so I did the ed puzzle, but why is there a 0 in the grade book? I did it. I answered all the questions. A lot of students have this, especially starting off with my class. The 0 in the Schoology grade book just means you completed the ed puzzle, and now I need to grade it, or Mrs. Hinkle needs to grade it. So we individually grade all ed puzzles and your answers. So make sure that within 48 hours, if there's still a 0 there, email whichever teacher you have and we'll give you the grade. But it usually takes us about 48 hours to grade the ed puzzles because we need to go in individually. So if you see a 0 after you get done with it, don't panic. Give us 48 hours to grade it. All right, so expectations for this class. Every week I will be posting a weekly check-in. It's optional, but it's really, really informative to let me know how you're doing school-wise and personally. And especially for my class, I will respond to everyone who fills it out. So here's a quick check for you. Answer this question. What is the best way to contact your teacher? Hopefully you said email. All right, next question. What percentage of assignments do you need to do in order to be marked as present for attendance? Hopefully you said 100%. All right, let's take a tour of Schoology now. All right, so here is my Schoology page. Mrs. Hinkle's might be a little bit different, but is going to be all the same assignments. So up here, you can have information about your teacher and how to contact them. Also, if you want to sign up for a Google Meet, for me, I have it right here where you can click here. That'll take you to a Google Calendar to sign up for a Meet for me. The syllabus is here. Access to the online textbook, which you really won't need, but if you really wanted to see it, it's right there. Link to the first week orientation is there. I have these weekly slides. I update them every week. Mrs. Hinkle will also have the slideshow on her Schoology page. And it just tells you what you need to do for each week and when it is due. So it's a nice little shortcut. Here's a parent guardian resource. That's just for helping your parents if they don't know how to check your grades. Orientation materials are right here, which you have access to, so make sure you get those done for this week. And then after this week, I will be putting on Unit 1, which is Early History in Mesopotamia. And when you do that, you open up that folder, and there's going to be a grid of a calendar that pops up, and then all your assignments will be also listed below. And again, it goes by that U1L, number system. So Unit 1 and then the lesson number. Okay, and then here's your grade book as well. You can check your grade book. I update it fairly often. Mrs. Hinkle probably does too. We have to upgrade it like every week, I believe. So, all right, let's go back to the slideshow real quick. All right, so wrap up. Here's the thing. If you do not think you can meet all these time and assignment requirements for this class, you need to contact your counselor right now and have you changed out of this class, okay? There's a lot of expectations for this class, especially with having all the assignments being done in order to be marked as present for the week. That's a huge thing. So if you think you can't do this, contact your counselor now and change classes to an in-person class. And if you have questions too, please email Mrs. Hinkle or I. So next up, you're going to complete lessons 1 through 5 in the orientation folder and complete the orientation quiz. Next week, September 11th through 15th, we were going to be starting Unit 1. September 11th, you're going to open up the Unit 1 folder, and all you're going to do is just take a look at the study guide U1L1. There's nothing for you to write until you go into lessons 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So you will complete the study guide throughout all the lessons in the unit, and then you're going to start working on the Unit 1 folder. All right, so again, thank you for listening. If you have questions, ask your teacher, either Mrs. Hinkle or I, and I hope you have a great start to your year. See ya.